Welcome to Plug Life Television. A couple of months ago, a fellow EV driver got in touch with me and shared a video from Norwegian EV YouTube legend Bjorn Nyland, who was looking at some new rapid chargers from a Finnish company called Kempower. The EV driver had asked me for my opinion on these new chargers, so having watched Bjorn's video, which I've also provided the link to beneath this video, I was thoroughly impressed with what I saw. These are chargers that are able to share all of the power to the entire site between themselves. So if your car has finished using the maximum amount of power on that charger, if the charging power started to taper off, then any residual capacity can be reassigned to another charger for another car that needs it more. I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool if we could see these chargers in the UK as well? And incidentally, a couple of weeks later, I learned that Osprey are about to install Kempower chargers in the UK. So I thought I would do a video that explains Kempower's game-changing tech in a bit more detail. Today's rapid chargers serve us well, but they have room for improvement, especially as the size of charging hubs grows. Conventional rapid chargers typically aren't electrically linked to each other, so if a Volkswagen ID3 that can charge at 100 kilowatts plugs into one of a pair of 50 kilowatt rapid chargers, the second vacant rapid charger cannot share its available power with the one that's in use. This means that the ID3 has to charge at 50 kilowatts, which is half of its maximum charge power. In situations where conventional rapid chargers are electrically linked to each other, this is usually done in pairs. In this scenario, when the ID3 plugs into one rapid charger, the second rapid charger makes all of its power modules available to the unit that's charging the ID3. However, electrically linked conventional rapid chargers, or rapid chargers that can charge two cars at once, typically split their power into two equal circuits if both chargers or both plugs are in use. In this case, if a slower charging Mazda MX-30 plugs into the second rapid charger, the power is split in half, allocating a maximum of 62.5 kilowatts to each EV, even although the ID3 can charge much faster than the MX-30. As a result, the ID3 receives only 62.5 kilowatts of charging power, and the 25.5 kilowatt power surplus from the charger that's charging the MX-30 cannot be shared with the ID3. Another challenge is that conventional rapid charging hubs have to be designed to be able to provide the maximum power from all chargers simultaneously, so the more powerful your chargers, the less you can install on a given grid supply. In this scenario, we have three 150 kilowatt high power chargers, each being used by an EV that has a maximum charge power of 50 kilowatts or less. Along comes a Volkswagen ID3, but it has to queue, despite there being a 319 kilowatt power surplus between all three chargers, because all three CCS plugs are in use. A hub built using conventional 50 kilowatt chargers would have allowed more chargers to be installed, which would have allowed the ID3 to get a charge, albeit at half of its maximum charge power. The new chargers that are about to be used by Osprey have a clever solution to this dilemma. Osprey is about to launch new charging hubs featuring chargers from a Finnish company called Kempower. The architecture of this charger is very different from before. It consists of a central power cabinet that is electrically linked to several dispensers. The central power cabinet's maximum power output can be spec'd from 50 to 600 kilowatts, but we'll consider the 400 kilowatt power cabinet for our scenario. This consists of 16 25 kilowatt DC power modules, which can be connected together in any order, a bit like Lego for charging cars, and shared with any of the dispensers in 25 kilowatt segments. Let's build 4 dispensers at our hub, each serving one charging bay. Osprey has spec'd their dispensers to each have CCS and CHAdeMO, so you won't need to worry about the plug that you need being in use. The cables are also extra long and spring-loaded, so they should be easy to lift and reach the far corner of your car. Along come 4 cars to our hub, 2 ID3s that can take 100 kilowatts of charging power, a Leaf that can take 50 kilowatts, and an e-tron that can theoretically take 150 kilowatts. The Kempower central power bank intelligently assigns 2 25 kilowatt DC modules to the Leaf, providing it with the full 50 kilowatts of requested charging power. Similarly, 4 power modules are assigned to each ID3, providing each with its full 100 kilowatts of requested charging power. However, the e-tron is only assigned 5 of the remaining 6 power modules, to provide up to 125 kilowatts of charging power. Why is this? Both the car and the dispenser are capable of 150 kilowatts, but the maximum power output of the dispenser is equal to the maximum current that can be supplied by the dispenser's cable, multiplied by the car's battery voltage. The e-tron's 400 volt battery, and the dispenser's current limit of 300 amps, gives a maximum power output of 120 kilowatts. As a result, 5 DC power modules are assigned to the dispenser in question, with 5 kilowatts spare capacity in the 5th power module. The e-tron then charges at 120 kilowatts. This power limit also applies to conventional high power chargers that you may have used. Now let's see where the Kempower system really comes into its own. One of the ID3s leaves, freeing up 4 power modules, and along comes a Hyundai Ioniq 5, which is capable of charging at 175 kilowatts. The car has an 800 volt battery, so is capable of maxing out the 150 kilowatt dispenser. All 5 remaining power modules are assigned to the Ioniq 5, giving it a charge power of 125 kilowatts. However, the Kempower system constantly monitors the charging power of all vehicles charging at the site and can reassign power modules mid-charge. Remember, as state of charge increases, the charge power of an EV decreases. This frees up DC power modules to be reassigned to other vehicles. Say that the ID3's battery is reaching a high state of charge, and its charge power has tapered from 100 kilowatts to 75 kilowatts. The Kempower power cabinet detects this and automatically reassigns one of the ID3's power modules to the Ioniq 5, since the Ioniq 5 can accept a faster charge. The Ioniq 5, and indeed all vehicles at the hub, are now charging at the highest possible power, making the most efficient use of the power supply to the charging hub by leaving no spare or unusable power. Note that although each of the 4 dispensers can theoretically output 150 kilowatts, which adds up to more than the 400 kilowatts total power supply available to the hub, the Kempower setup is never in any danger of exceeding the site's power supply, and its design means that slower charging EVs are never hogging high power chargers from faster charging EVs, thanks to its clever electron juggling via the intelligent assigning and reassigning of power modules to the cars that need them the most. There's another neat advantage to the Kempower solution. Say that a DC power module failed in a conventional rapid charger. What happens next depends on its design. It may have one giant power module that supplies all of its rated power, in which case, if that fails, then the entire charger is out of service. Alternatively, it may also have a series of smaller power modules, so if one of those fails, the maximum power output of that charger drops by the power output of that module. For chargers that are electrically linked, if a power module fails, then the maximum power output of the pair is reduced by the output of the faulty power module when only one car is charging, and the output of the charger that contains the faulty power module is reduced by that amount when both chargers are in use, with the other one returning to full power. Take the following scenario at a conventional charging hub. 2 EVs are charging at 50 kilowatts or less on high power chargers, with an Ioniq 5 pulling 150 kilowatts from a third charger. A DC power module fails in the charger that's charging the Ioniq 5. This reduces the Ioniq 5's charging power to 125 kilowatts, despite the vehicle being capable of charging at 150 kilowatts, and despite there being a 206 kilowatt power surplus between the 2 other chargers at the hub. Conversely, with the Kempower system, should one of its DC power modules fail, the central power cabinet simply won't assign it to any dispensers. Therefore, in the same scenario as before, if a DC power module fails, another one is assigned to take its place, so no cars have their charging power compromised by the faulty power module. Furthermore, all dispensers are still technically capable of delivering their maximum power, since the faulty power module isn't built into or permanently assigned to one dispenser. And the charging power of EVs only starts to become compromised once all working power modules have been assigned to vehicles on charge. The Kempower solution could also be a game changer for supermarkets. At present, in supermarket car parks, it is common to find a handful of cheap to install 7 kilowatt Type 2 posts that are very slow and don't add a meaningful range whilst you're doing the weekly shop. Or a solitary, more expensive to install 50 kilowatt rapid charger with a queue to use it. With the Kempower solution, the central power cabinet is the expensive bit because it contains the DC power modules, and the dispensers are likely relatively cheap. This means that you could have a large overdeployment of dispensers, which even at busy times would provide at worst 25 kilowatts of power to every EV on charge, over 3 times faster than a 7 kilowatt Type 2 post, with some lucky drivers getting an even faster charge rate than this. Hypothetically, you could have 1 or more dispensers dedicated for full speed rapid charging, whereby the DC power modules are prioritised to these dispensers as soon as a car plugs into them. Anyone charging on the other dispensers would take a hit on charging speed, but would still take on way more energy than they would have if using a Type 2 post. And, unlike Type 2 posts, their charging speed could be automatically boosted to as much as 150 kilowatts as soon as someone else finishes charging. Kempower, I don't know if your system can do this, but if it can't yet, you should totally look into it. Having looked into how the Kempower solution works, and how its clever electron juggling overcomes the limitations of conventional charging infrastructure, I think it's fair to say that Osprey's newest charging hubs, which use Kempower chargers, are quite possibly the smartest charging hubs in the UK today. So Kempower chargers should be able to provide a very quick, very convenient, very fast, robust, reliable charge. This is all very promising looking. The fact that they can take power from a vehicle that's finished using all of that and reassign the bit that's no longer being used to other vehicles that need it more is very impressive, especially when you consider that at charging hubs you've got vehicles coming and going all the time. It's incredibly unlikely that everyone's going to be pulling full power at the exact same time, and that means that the available power to the site is used most efficiently, and you don't need to have a massive oversized grid supply that's able to provide maximum power to every single charger at the same time. It means you can have more chargers, more cars charging at high power, and more happy EV drivers who are able to get back on the road as soon as possible. At least that's in theory, that's on paper. It is my intention to try one of these Osprey Kempower sites for myself and report back my findings in a future episode of Plug Live Television. But before then, I'm going to be off to Fully Charged Live at Farnborough International Airport from Friday the 3rd to Sunday the 5th of September, which promises to be a fantastic event. It was brilliant when it was at Silverstone. When it outgrew Silverstone in 2019, they've had to move to a much bigger venue. I'm going to be giving a couple of talks as well on the Saturday. I'm going to be on stage with Helen Chertsky talking about advanced battery tech at 11:45 a.m. at the Mega Theatre. And then on the Sunday, the 5th of September, yet to be confirmed, but it looks as if I'm being called up for the first talk of the day with Robert Llewellyn, 10:30 a.m. at the Giga Theatre, talking about batteries. Are they ethical? Are they recyclable? And are they sustainable? And hopefully, I'll see some of you there.